This is Tommy Conwell from Tommy Conwell and the Young Rumblers from the 80s. And you're listening to the iWalter Show.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Yeah, it's me. It's Walter. It's iWalter, actually. I am back again. You know what? It's a little earlier. It's just like the weirdest time I'm starting a show. It's like 6:48. I actually checked the time out, and the date, and I can't even remember. I'm so stupid. I'm a strunata. It says Sunday, August 14th, 2016. Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. I have to thank my friend Matt because I bought these tickets a while back to go, and I wanted to do basically a dedicated show to Sabrina Carpenter, because I went and seen her. I really didn't get that far, but I did get to see her for like a few seconds. It was funny because the wonderful thing was I had taken 200 pictures, and out of 200, I think about 12 turned out not too bad that I was able to post on Facebook and my other media places. So that was pretty cool. And by the way, in case by the time he listens to this, it'll be already a done deal. My friend Matt, I told him about this movie to go see, and I myself haven't seen it, so I've been a little bit of a hypocrite about it. It was this movie about an anti-Hillary Clinton movie called, let's see, I saw it somewhere, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, and he said it was really good. He went and seen it finally, and it's like, okay, I go tell you to go see it, and I don't bother to see it myself. So, there's some other movies I'd like to waste some money on. I actually wanted to go see Suicide Squad again, but I think I'm going to hold out at this point and try to see Hillary. Now, I was going to go see it. I would have been there right now watching it. But here I locked myself out of the house. We have spare keys, and guess what? The spare keys, my dad had taken it and put it on his keychain. So I'm trying to, get in the house. I called my parents up. They were out of the house. Yes, I live with my parents at 50. But, they weren't home, and it was like, oh, I put the spare key on my keychain. I never bothered to replace it. It was like, okay, that's great. So, hey, I understand you don't want to have people breaking your fucking house. There I go. Hey, I couldn't curse last night. I'm doing it now. So I can get that inappropriate rating, whatever you call it, on my thing. I was pissed, so I had to crawl through a window. I'm praying to God. Nobody pays attention to you. None of your freaking neighbors pay attention to you. As soon as you lock yourself out of the house and you're trying to crawl through a window, they're going to call the fucking cops. So they didn't, thank God. So, it was an aggravating day. I keep on telling friends, by the way, it's funny. You got to watch out for that because the economy is bad enough. And this has happened during, recessions and things where these gas stations do what's called price gouging, if I'm using it correctly. What that means, basically, I think it's called price gouging. It was when they make their own prices up. You're supposed to be pretty competitive with other gas stations, but when people are desperate for gas and they're, low on cash, what they do is these gas stations you're not supposed to, but they're mark up the gas price by a large margin. So I've never seen it personally. I heard about it. I've never seen it. So there's this gas station. It's called Sunoco. It's right across from this Burger King in Trooper. The Burger King is torn down as it's being rebuilt. Not as we speak, but, in the process. So here we are at this gas station. It's a Sunoco. They actually did do this price gouging by about 50 or 60 cents a gallon. It's like, well, that's not that much. Yeah, but you buy a full tank of gas, and you're spending, let me think, what is it, $37, $60, which is what, 15 gallons of gas. You take that 50, 60 cents, Let me do this real quick because my math is horrendous. I'll make sure I turn off my other set of speakers because I don't want that to pick up. So say 15 gallons times 0.50. I'm going to make a generous amount, 50 cents. That's $7.50 from one person that they're putting in their pocket that they're overcharging you. So that's not pennies. It's not like if it's a couple cents, I don't really care. That's a price gouge. So I went to two other different Sunoco gas stations the past 2 days just to fill up my tank. It was like 50, 60 cents cheaper. So it's this one particular one who I don't know who owns it, but they actually have price gouge their gas prices by, I think, a large amount. You're talking $7-8. Yeah, that's not like pennies. Just forewarning people, watch out for price gouging at gas stations and people trying to rip you off, take advantage of the fact that people, need gas. They just can't afford it. I mean, they figured, hey, well, nobody's going to notice that we gouged it up from $2.50 or $2 a gallon to $3 a gallon. There's this place called BP, British Petroleum, on the top of the hill. They do that, too. Their gas is actually $1 more than anywhere else. I'm not even kidding. It's actually $1 more than anywhere else. It's just like, I didn't notice it first. I'd go there. It's on the top of the hill from where I live. It's like, well, I'll just go there and get gas. Not realizing that they were majorly price gouging the gas prices because there's nobody around except them. Another other gas station within like a reasonable amount of miles. I mean, it's only like a few miles down the road, but if you're desperate, it's like, crap, hey, here's a gas station. Let me get gas, and it's like $1 more. You're not going to think twice that you're getting ripped off. Now, that would be like $15 you're getting ripped off if you fill up your tank. I'm just saying. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So anyway, I was going to go see this movie, Hillary for America, and I'm going to have to wait now until 9 o'clock. That's fine. It's just I don't like doing that on a weeknight. Kind of pisses me off. So I'll tell you, though, people are just, I don't know where, I've mentioned this before, where do they get their money? That's the question I have. Yeah, I honestly have no clue where people, like, they don't have jobs. Like, I heard it's on Rush Limbaugh all the time. They don't have jobs, but yet they still have a car, like probably a brand new car they're getting given to them by the government. Most of them barely speak English. That's another problem I have an issue with because they're here, without a doubt, they're here illegally. That's an issue I have. But they drive nice brand new cars, things that I couldn't even afford, even if I tried to. I mean, the hard working man or woman in this country can't do this. But yet, the ones who don't even make an effort, they can afford to travel wherever they want, do whatever they want to do. And it's all basically, covered by your tax sums. I'm being sarcastic with that, by the way. I didn't mean it that way. Well, I did. I was being sarcastic. So what do you expect? But yeah, it's absolutely true. I mean, we're paying for other people's, premiums and luxuries, taking these trips wherever they want to go, if it's around the world or whatever. Maybe their parents are paying for it. I don't know. Most likely we are. Now, I checked. My friend Matt said, well, you could check that out. You could look or, ask your company. But why do something I already know is probably pretty much factual. That years ago, the most they charged you in taxes per paycheck was like 18%. If you want to go right across the board and figure out how much you're paying in taxes, pretty much you're paying 18%. Well, that's actually pretty much almost doubled. Because I try to figure out, my average paycheck, I get almost 38% on a given week. 38% pretty much taken out in taxes. Now, you can say, well, because I do have what's called a retirement fund, which I have almost a decent amount of money, a nice large amount of money in. And, so a little bit goes in that. 6%, though. Not 38%, but 6%. But that's actually separate because I actually looked on the part of my paycheck. It says this is what you're getting taken out in taxes. Your overall taxes you're paying. And it didn't say 38%, but it was 38% of my paycheck, though. So, yeah, now they do separate Might as well call it segregate. The money doesn't go anywhere for, that's useful. Where does it go then? Well, it goes towards people who are not working. So I'm completely basically I'm giving out almost half my paychecks just for people just to enjoy themselves and do whatever they want to do. And that even includes basically having more children that I can afford to pay for them. So, hey, don't worry about that. I'll pick up your tab for your expenses, your cars, your living arrangement, the Section 8 housing, your school privileges, for your kids that you have illegitimately. I'll end up picking up the tab for. So don't worry about it. I'll pay for everything for you. So while you're basically getting sloshed, pregnant, doing illegal drugs or smashing up your Mercedes or BMW you didn't have to pay for because somebody else paid for it for you, your Apple iPhone that I probably paid for, or Android phone, because, hey, don't worry about it. That's on me. I am the actual white male that you really have to worry about. I'm the one who basically repressed every other nationality. And you know what? I hate to tell you, I've said this a million times, like I'm beating a freaking dead horse. But you know what? I'm actually first, I would say at least first generation, technically second generation. I don't even know how that works. My father's, my grandparents, they came over physically on a boat. They literally did. I'm not even making that up. They came over on a boat from Sicily. That's on my dad's side. My mom's side, it's a little bit different, but they're Italian. But yeah, my mentioned this in a voicemail. My one relative's actually my dad's mother, my grandmother. She's actually her maiden name is Bono. We are related to, if you're familiar with Sonny Bono, that's a blood relation of ours. That's no joke. That's the truth. Has nothing to do with anything. Yeah, we have, not something you want to be proud of. I'm not. But we do have probably, since we're Sicilian, ties with the people that are basically not on the up and up. I'll leave it at that. That's why I want to see this Hillary thing, too, by the way, because she's got some crooked Hillary actually is very crooked. She has ties with some people that, would basically get rid of people that stand in your way, to put it the least, the least harsh way. I thought I turned off that thing. I hear a camera photo thing go off. It still picks up. Whatever. So, yeah. But the bottom line is, we came over, and guess what? All my relatives on my dad's side, minus maybe a handful of them, you can barely understand them because they have a really bad Italian Sicilian accent. Like, I can't make out what they were saying. I can't make heads or tails. I can't hold a conversation with them because I have no freaking clue what they're saying. But, that's my my upcoming. I'm full-blooded Sicilian Italian. But obviously, minus that I, make grammatical errors and I, mess up words and what is it? My spelling is horrendous. I obviously know how to speak English. I think of myself as American. I don't think of myself as a Sicilian American. And I like this one guy. I forget who it was. A friend threw me into him. This guy who actually, I think it was my friend Matt. This guy who is black, but he says, hey, I'm not African American. I was born in America. And he goes off in a spiel. I still have not played that soundbite. It was really fun. I can't remember the guy's name. And he goes off and he says, listen, hey, if you want to go back to Africa, go right ahead, but you're not going to be liked because basically the Africans hate American blacks. They can't stand them. They think of them as probably lower than pine scum. So he said, hey, if you want to go back, and the guy was being sarcastic. He shot this video of himself, and he's even eating chicken. He's trying to be like funny and stereotyping himself. He's like, hey, you know what? If you want to go back, you're going to give up, great taste in chicken. And don't get me wrong, I love chicken. You know why? Because tonight when I'm done, I want to go and get, my big thing now is this place called Buffalo Wild Wings. And some places at these venues, like I went to a venue with my friend, and I went to this concert for Sabrina Carpenter. And you know what I like getting now, and I used to hate it, is chicken fingers. I mean, I couldn't stand chicken. I really did not, especially white meat. I'm not a white meat eater. I like the dark meat. Yeah, you can go many places with that, but I'm serious. I do. So, yeah, so it's a stereotype. The guy was trying to be, funny, but he was trying to make a point too. It's like, listen, if you really can't stand this freaking country, go back to where your origins came from, but you're really not of those origins anymore. You can consider yourself a different nationality. I can consider myself Italian, but through and through, I am no different. You're no different than I am. All of us are Americans. You're just looking for a scapegoat so you can get free government handouts, which obviously there's plenty going around as long as you continue to vote Democrat. And that's the thing people quite don't understand. That, and my friend mentioned this, my friend Matt, and he's absolutely right, that these people they don't care how corrupt the Democratic Party is. I just have to go off on that real quick. I'm going to paraphrase very poorly what Matt was telling me. So, I apologize, Matt, because he's my only solid listener. Because I know I did interview for a few minutes, like 10 minutes, 9 minutes, because he was in between takes or whatever you want to call it at this local pub bar. Playing was Tommy Conwell. And, that was really cool. I'm glad he actually talked to me, but unfortunately I had people talking very loud in the background. We actually went outside, so, it would be less ambient, is that ambient noise? It would be less background noise. And unfortunately, some people followed out and they were talking very loud, so they got in the background. So nothing I can do about that. I don't even know how to change that. I wish I did. I wish there was a way I can kind of separate our voices from the rest. But I did the interview on my cell phone. So that was on an Apple iPhone, which, you know what, by the way, real quick, I skip around. I've said this before, that Apple is like really taking a plunge on their quality of their stuff. I mean, it's not as good as it used to be when Jobs basically, was being his extremely anal self on like how things looked. Like, he didn't know what was actually being physically made, but he would definitely keep a watchful eye on things and let people know, hey, this is what I want in my product. I want, if my name is going on it, because I'm the co-founder of this company called Apple, I want to make sure that this stuff is like on like 200% above average, not 100%, but like a 200%. I know it doesn't exist. I want these products to be perfect. Well, here I had to just throw a laptop out because the battery exploded and it expanded like a balloon. And some guy, a friend of my friend Matt, he's a jazz/a teacher, jazz player and a teacher. His phone had this happen. This guy Ed Rick, his battery in his phone expanded and it pushed the contact on his phone, like the lens, right up. So it's this question, and I'm questioning. They've really cheapened out. They charge you. I mean, the phones, the products, the laptops, the computers probably cost them maybe only $100 for all the parts and material, and they now made a profit. The rest is all basically is 900% markup in profit margins, if that makes any sense. So, you buy a phone for $1,000. That's literally what you pay for a 128 gig Apple iPhone. Well, out of that $1,000, you're basically the raw material that goes into it and the stuff that, they made their money back on their patent is like $100, $90. The rest is all profit margin. That's on everything, though. And the products are crappier and crappier. The only thing that keeps me using Apple then is I will use the older generation stuff on the laptops and the computers because it's cheaper and it works better. That's number one. And number two, I do like the software, meaning the OS, the operating system, much better than I like on Windows still. I like Windows, but I like Apple better. But unfortunately, you are giving up a lot by using Apple products anymore because it is total dog garbage. I'm not going to, dog shit, because shit is not too bad, right? So anyway, I went off, and I forget where I left off. I think it was about this whole thing for Hillary for America. I want to see that. That just really got me started thinking, and just like seeing my surroundings filled with people that are not only ignorant, obnoxious, but they're just doing whatever they want to do. And yet I'm being lectured that I need to be more responsible as a grown adult, at the age of almost 50. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm close to it. So I'm going to say I'm, borderline 50. And, yeah. And I'm seeing these people that are 20 and 30 years younger and actually 20 or 30 years older than me who are truly just irresponsible adults, maybe even 5 or 10 years younger than me, or 5 years or 10 years older than me, who take absolutely no responsibility. They do whatever they want to do. I mean, God love them, I saw this one guy at the convention at Sabrina Carpenter. There was 2 different guys. One was actually a little bit more frightful, very frightful. The other guy was very nice. He was very, very nice. But he works, thank goodness, and he's from another country, young guy, very nice. I apologize. I had a little bit of a hard time understanding him, but he was really trying. I mean, the fact that he has a work ethic is great. But unfortunately, he's actually a little bit too young. I think he was only, my guess is he was probably under the age of 18. He was at this, that was the thing, that Sabrina Carpenter concert. The great thing was, even though I felt bad I feel embarrassed to say this, almost. You know me, I'm not embarrassed by anything. But I'm almost embarrassed to say, these kids were no taller than let me see, about 3 feet tall, because they were all 8-year-olds and 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds. So when I stand up, I'm I mentioned to somebody, and I'm not even kidding, I'm Gulliver's Travels, where I'm like this giant in front of these little people. I mean, seriously. So it's not something, hey, I should be proud of, and I'm not saying that I am. I'm just saying that when I stood up, I basically shadowed over top of everybody else. I was like Mighty Joe Young next to these little kids trying to get pictures of Selena. What was it? Not Selena. I'm sorry. Sabrina Carpenter. Boy, I screwed that up now. So, is that cool? Well, not really. But see, the thing is, you got to understand, my friend Matt, too, you got to understand. I try to I don't pigeonhole myself to just talking about one thing or even meeting one entertainer. I try to, as hard as I can, I try to just be able to meet and see everyone. I don't care who they are, what age they are, within reason. I mean, that was definitely a borderline one, but within reason. And, it's embarrassing, but I have fun. My friend Matt was picking on me. I know you're going to hear this. And it's like, dude, you actually, if it makes you feel any better, Matt, you did almost convince me when you were joking about, Sabrina Carpenter, she was wondering who he was joking with me. I know he was. But he almost got me by a few times. He got me for a few seconds of saying, oh yeah, she was wondering who that hot guy was who was an older guy that went to her concert for the meet and greet. And it's like, you actually almost got me, because I am very gullible. You can tell me that you met a Martian in your backyard who just started talking to you and told you stuff about the future of the planet, and I probably would believe you. I mean, that's how, I hate to say it, that's how gullible I really am. But this time it's like one of those things, I guess, because my dad, he's very gullible. And it's funny, every year my mother tries to pull this thing of, on April 1st, tells my dad, oh, your car's on fire. Oh, somebody just stole your car. Somebody did this. Somebody did that. And every year my dad falls for it. But guess what happens after a while? He finally gets to the point, my dad, that here to sell April Fool. So I'm at that point. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, even with my dad, that I kind of get to the point with people that, you know what, as much as I'd like to believe these bizarre stories like, oh yeah, hey, Kevin Smith, like, he wants to talk to you, I would believe it, but, you know, it's like, after a while, you just kind of like, you know what, as much as I like to believe that, or Sabrina Carpenter really was, like, interested in you, you know, hey, that's flattering if it was true, but, yeah, I know it's fake, so, you know. Unfortunately, it's just so unbelievable, so to speak, that, yeah, I don't believe it, so. But it was a good try on my friend Matt's part. By the way, you know what? It's funny. I guess it must have been this weekend, I assume. It must have been in Jersey, like across from Philadelphia. There's this hotel where they run this this horror convention, and it actually seemed to take place. So, yeah, I'm going to figure out how to turn down my sound. Here we go. That way I won't get it either way. So, yeah, but honestly, I have to thank my friend Matt. I can't thank him enough. I said it a million times, I guess, but I'll say it again. Yeah, actually, I really appreciate Matt that you. He surprised me. He says, "Oh yeah, I have somebody, a big celebrity, who actually may do an interview with you," and it was like, wow. That'd be really cool, but I didn't know who it was. I said to my friend Matt after the fact, I assumed it was one of his friends that are, you know, because I asked, hey, maybe I could get one of your what do you call it, friends slash the people that work for him, so to speak, as contractors for his music business. I thought it was one of them that I was going to meet up with, like this guy Ed Rick, that I would get an interview out of him, which, hey, I really wanted to. I want to get an interview with this guy Ed Rick, because he's a really cool guy. And that's as far as I went. But then he didn't tell me until, unfortunately, that we got there. My friend Matt had taken me to this place. It's this pub. I can't remember the name. I'm going to have to look at my own thing. Oh, wow. Now, this has changed. That's weird. Side note, not important. My friend Matt, he's tired of hearing me talk about this. Looks like it changed that Suicide Squad went from number 2 this week to number 1, so it did get a second week as number 1. I'll look at that. As expected, Suicide Squad plummeted, which I assumed, during its second week, both North America and overseas, but still done more than well enough to rack up close to $500 million worldwide. This is in 2 weeks, not just 1 week. And it says in the title, though, Box Office Suicide Squad manages to stay at number 1 as it nears the $500 million mark, even though it declined drastically. So now I'm really kind of curious. Not important, but to me it is. I can't remember what I use. I actually like Box Office Mojo. So I'm doing that now. And I'm not talking about two entertainers I really wanted to talk about. One I actually got to talk to, so that was even cool. Thanks to Matt. And Tommy Conwell was a very nice man, by the way. I can't say enough. He's actually from around here. I did not know that. It's getting darker out sooner, too. That's weird. Yeah, there we go. Wow, weekend estimates. 43. So it didn't do too bad. It made 43 overall. That was the weekend estimates. It made $12 million today. A little over 12 million, almost 13. So honestly, that's not too bad. It came in, it got pushed from number 2 to number 1. It actually beat whoever else was on the top, I guess. I'm going to double check. Is that correct? Because it was something else. And now it's saying that Suicide Squad came in number 1. Yeah, because it was actually at number 2. There was that movie about the Wieners. I forget, it was called Sausage Fest or something. I swear to God, it's the name of a freaking movie called Sausage Fest. Oh, Sausage Party was actually number 1. Now Suicide Squad beat it by 10 million. So that's pretty good. I mean, you're talking about a movie that got the worst freaking reviews, and it came in number 1 for 2 weeks. So that's actually quite impressive. In the U.S., it made $223 million so far, which is not bad. Hey, consider, and then it made the rest, to make it close to $500 million. Foreign sales. So, hey, it's nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, worldwide, $466 million. Not bad. Domestic, 223, excuse me. Foreign, $242.5 million. That's not bad. I'm telling you, for a movie as that, I wanted to go see it again this weekend, but I'll hold off. I'll maybe try to see, because I do want to see the Hillary movie. And again, I don't want to be a hypocrite, even after I said, hey, I'm going to go see this, but I never did. So, the Hillary movie. So I'll see that in about 2 hours. God, that's going to go so freaking fast. I was going to eat. So, yeah, I did go to 2 concerts. Yes, and I did get to meet up with. It was very pleasant to meet, even though it was for a second or so. Oh, I apologize because I went in so many different directions. I have no clue what I'm I normally do. I have no clue what I'm talking about at this point. I have no clue, which is nothing new. That people who actually do listen to me, Matt. But yeah, I got to meet Sabrina Carpenter, very nice person. And when I listen back, I'm going to say, God, I made this many mistakes mentioning her name 5 different ways, and none of them being correct. It is Sabrina Carpenter, though. And then, to my surprise, thank you, Matt, again, was Tommy Conwell. Now, I shot a couple of his videos on my phone. They did not turn out that well. But the guy was really cool. I got a couple publicity shots with him so I can use them for my podcast, which I did. As a cover thing on my little thingy for my show. Well, let me start with that then, and I'll try to figure out what I started talking about and just kind of lost my train of thought. Very nice man. He's from Philadelphia. I asked him a few questions. It was a 9-minute interview because I really wasn't too familiar with him, minus I remember hearing some of his music on, MTV and also on the radio back in the day, and still kind of do on classic rock and stuff. Not in an interview, so I'm going to add this in now. He actually did work for 94 YSP for a while. He said it was all right. He came on right after Howard Stern did, back when Stern was in Philadelphia. And then he also mentioned that, which I forgot about. I think my friend Todd told me years ago that David Lee Roth was actually a disc jockey. Also, in Philadelphia as well. I remember hearing about that. I just never put 2 and 2 together. Anyway, officially, Tommy Conwell was the first person that is kind of more of a, musician / entertainer that I actually did. I mean, I did interview Walt Flanagan and from Comic Book Men, so they are kind of like celebrities in my book. And I'm trying to think of the other guy, Mike Zapsik and Mark Costello. But I'm beginning to realize, hey, I got to get more of these people to try to interview them. If not, and do plugs. Plugs are cool too. But Mark, Tommy Conwell, honestly, is the first person I physically have to say that I, broke the ground of actually doing more than just getting the plug or something like that. Somebody who actually was pretty well known. If you're from the generation where MTV was really big. Not just TV shows or reality shows, but like actual music videos. He was there. I mean, you're talking like with the Hooters, probably back in the day when the Hooters were really big. I'm trying to think who else back in that time. Let's see if I can pull up some information. But, yeah, he listened to my podcast before this one. And, see, now he played at this. Oh, that was what I was going to do, too. Excuse me, I'm going to have to sneeze in a minute. So, here it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It went away. Excuse me. because it comes up because I got it tagged. Oh, okay, the Whip Pane Tavern is where he's playing at. Nobody really knew, so only a handful of people turned up. So that was good for me. Now, the next time Tommy Conwell will be around, unfortunately, it will be that I'll have to pay for it if I decide to even do that. So that's not cool, and it would be with the rest of the band, like Tommy Conwell and the Young Rumblers. Now, I heard him over talking. He was, and plus I asked him some questions off the air, with the friends, that he actually, it looked like he had, I forgot to tell my friend Todd, it looks like he had a temple sticker on his car. So either himself or his kids, because he has 4 kids, he said, are going to temple, or he went to temple. Because he was a school teacher, he said at one point. I said, off the air, asked Tommy, I said, so I understood you're a school teacher, because my friends here, there was 2 other friends I was with, they're musicians and school teachers. I said, they teach music. And he says, no, I was a 3rd grade teacher. Well, hey, that's cool. And he said he loved it, though. So that's pretty cool. And he's a very down-to-earth man. I only wish I could do a interview with him that would be more like now with the mics and stuff, and instead of on my cell phone. So he told me he actually put out, like he said, it's basically unofficial. He doesn't really work for any record company anymore. And it was basically back in 1988, his really popular song of "I'm Not Your Man" came out. So I asked him, I said, hey, can you mention your name when you do a plug? He says, I don't care. I own everything, so don't worry about it. I was like, cool, dude. He was under Columbia Records, and it says Legacy Records. I thought he was under some other labels, too. And again, he was from Tommy Conwell and the Young Rumblers. He was born in Philadelphia, PA, but he lives around here. His wife actually is a hairdresser. I think down the road from where that Whip Pane Tavern is, his wife works right down the road at some hair salon. If I can remember which one, I was going to ask him. I totally forgot. So, I'm not going to have this opportunity again. He actually did it, and I felt bad. One guy was right. He actually had to carry all his equipment in himself and break it down and bring it out himself. So he was basically everything, one-man band, literally last night on Saturday night. So I'm trying to look, because you can go to. I always feel bad, like I feel obligated. It's only $10. You can buy Tommy Conwell's album. You basically just download it too once you buy it. It says "Walking on Water," Conwell and the Young Rumblers. Download for $10. It's not bad. He actually plugged on when I interviewed him something he. Oh, thanks, but no thanks. That was the one he recommended. That's $10 too. That's actually, I think, right when he told me, if I remember correctly, you can hear it on the interview, minus the background noise of people talking in back of us. He actually said that was the album, that was the last one that when the band was together, was supposed to release. And it never came out. So the record company dumped them, and he was really not happy about it. So, so he was mentioned about this, thanks but no thanks, and I see it right here on his webpage. So he's got his stuff up, his albums. You can download them, and he says he's got bootleg copies. He doesn't really care. He's more, you're not making much money on these albums. There's actually one that says, look out ringtones, and it has 93 MMR on there, and it's ringtones from Tommy Conwell and their Young Rumblers. So there's this stuff on his webpage. This is really cool. Again, very nice man. I've never met somebody that nice before, but he was extremely cool, very nice. He talked to everybody. He did not turn his back on one person. He was made sure. And I hate to say this, I really wouldn't recognize, because maybe some of his other fellow band members were there. I wouldn't know what they look like. This was so long ago. And he makes jokes because he had a lot of hair back in the day. He had like a big lot, I don't want to say fro. He's a white guy, but he had a lot of hair, and that wasn't the correct way to say it, so I apologize. But very cool, and he basically looked like he shaves his head now. He had a baseball cap on. He took it off. He says, yeah, my hair's growing back. He said, I'm actually going to dye it soon because it's growing back so thick, and it's like he has his head shaved. So it was kind of funny. And again, I apologize. Hey, Tommy, if you hear this and some of your friends or the band members were there and I didn't know it, I wasn't trying to be ignorant. I just, honestly, it's been a while. I mean, you're talking that one hit that he made actually came out in 1988. So you're talking what, like 20 or so years ago? Let's see. My math is bad, so I got to look this up. Let's see, 2016 minus 1988. Yeah, it's 28 years ago, so that was like 30 years practically ago. He did say 30 years ago on some stuff. So you put Tommy Conwell, I said to him on the interview, I said, you put it in, your name just comes right up. He looks completely different on the publicity shot, but you can tell by his voice it's him. It's him. Very down-to-earth guy. Tommy Conwell is a U.S. guitar songwriter and performer. He's best known as the frontman for the Philadelphia-based band Tommy Conwell and the Young Rumblers. The band had a number one mainstream rock hit in 1988, I'm Not Your Man. So listen to that. You will hear stuff I will forget about. So he's had a couple hits. And, hey, the thing is you take for granted, honestly, there's a lot of people from, the Philadelphia area that actually made it big. There was Michael Kelly Smith. My friend Matt knows him. He's actually friends with Michael Kelly Smith. I can see if I can pull him up. But he was actually, for a short while, he was in different bands. I know he got kind of let go out of, because of his age, even back then, of the band called Cinderella, which was from Philadelphia, too. So, even though I can't spell, I'm going to try to. I'm going to move my mic down. Michael. Wow, I got an N for an M. That's amazing how I can do that. I do want to talk about Sabrina, too. Michael. By the way, Michael Kelly Smith's good friends with my friend Matt Torrance. And he's another one. He's a very nice man. Her talk to. He actually teaches music to kids and stuff. Yeah, whoops. Sorry about that. I actually did put in Michael Kelly Smith. He came up right away. So, some, people you don't realize. Yeah, it's actually his name is Michael Shermack. My friend Matt will correct me because I need that one corrected. But he just goes by Michael Kelly Smith, is an American guitarist who formerly played in glam metal bands like Cinderella. But there was other ones. Brittany Fox, that was the big one. Because my friend Matt and his friend, his brother, Paul, they're big fans. They love Michael Kelly Smith. It's like the guy lives around here. He will talk to you. If you stop in where he works, no matter, two places he works, like teaching music lessons, the guy will sit down and he will talk to you. He loves to mention things, just certain things he's a little bit kind of like a little sensitive about. And I don't blame the man, because he's a very down-to-earth man. I think he's best known for Brittany Fox, though, more so. He actually got let go from years ago. They kind of just kicked him to the curb when Cinderella actually got signed on, and it really sucked. I mean, the guy's like super, super nice. But you can find him, not entertainment-wise. Will Smith, obviously, is from Philadelphia. Like I said, well, he was a singer. What am I saying? So, yeah. Like I said, Cinderella, I believe. They actually, years ago, I had taken, I'm trying to think, I had taken down at K-Gym Studios, but this was down in Philadelphia. Well, yeah, I guess that's where they got signed on. I think it was Cinderella, because I remember them mentioning it. K-Gym Studios mentioned it. That when I had taken classes for when I was, going to Cabrini College, I had taken 2 semesters at K-Gym Studios for production, and boy, I did bad in that. But anyway, Cinderella was like one of the bands that actually, did their stuff down there. There's actually a different K-Gyms. I think they have different locations. But yeah, that was one of their record deals they signed on to. So, I mean, people take this stuff for granted. Because most of these bands, when they hit it big, they go out to L.A. or New York, or they move out of the Philadelphia area, and you don't realize. Taylor Swift, I met her, not met her, I saw her. She's actually from Pennsylvania. Yeah, and she's very nice, by the way. I'm going to get back to her finally, because that was really what my show is going to be about. It's just going to be probably a photo. Speaking of which, I got some decent photographs, and it's not because the girl's only 17. I'm gonna let you know right now, but Sabrina Carpenter, very nice girl. I said to her, "Hey, can you give me a plug for my show, Lisa?" She says, "No." She really wasn't. She's under a tight contract with Disney basically Disney, and Disney is like a large corporation. It owns, like I've said this in the past, they're a large corporation. So you're walking on eggshells when you ask somebody who works for somebody as big as they are. Hey, can you do this for me? I had this problem, actually. I mentioned this before. The guy who plays on Gotham, who plays the Penguin, the actor, I can't remember his name now, that he was under a contract that he wasn't allowed to talk to me, minus just get pictures and stuff. They are very, very tight. So Sabrina was the same way. I didn't realize that. Hey, I give her credit for doing that because I don't think she's just basically a stand-in. God, I wish if my brothers were ever like famous, famous. My one brother, he's, both my brothers, did their contributions, or they contribute to our society. One was in the military for 27 years and fought in Desert Storm and some of the wars that are now pretty much part of our history. That's my oldest brother, Vincent. My brother, John, he's a U.S. Attorney down in Washington, D.C., and he's a very, he's a good lawyer, I heard, so I got to give him some credit. But, I mean, if these guys, my brothers, if they got into entertainment, I wish they would do like what Sabrina Carpenter did and not forget their sibling, me, because Sabrina actually has as a backup vocalist her sister. And honestly, I did not hear her sister at all. So I can't really say if she sounds any good. And it's nothing against her. I just don't know. I really can't say. I got this really good shot of Sabrina and her sister. It's like an excellent photo of both of them, like her sister's in the foreground, Sabrina's, Carpenter's sister. It looks really good. That's my favorite photo I got. But I only got like out of 200 pictures, that ones that turned out were actually literally like 12. So anyway, I got a selfie. She did it for me. Sabrina Carpenter's sister. I don't even know her name, so I apologize. So Sabrina Carpenter's sister. I'm sure she would like to be known. Not that anybody listens to me as somebody else besides, oh, you're Sabrina Carpenter's sister. But they were very entertaining. I showed the pictures to my parents. They thought that Sabrina Carpenter is older than 17. It's like, no, she's only 17. It's like, wow, she looks like she's 21 or 22. I got to sneeze again. It's coming. Sorry about that. She's very talented. She's got a good voice. Sabrina Carpenter. She kind of reminded me of somebody else. She's got a little bit of sound almost when Taylor Swift was a little bit more country, or very country. She's got that folk country voice, Sabrina Carpenter, and she actually is from Bethlehem. So I did not know. Well, she mentions, I heard it later on. Now, I remember one thing. I apologize, I forget the one guy's name. I friended it on Facebook. So he probably might listen to this like, you don't remember my name? It's like, dude, I'm really sorry. I'm really bad with names. But this one guy, he's an Asian, Korean. I apologize. He's Korean. And he actually came, I'm impressed, because he was under the age of 18. I don't know how he did it. And he works. But he actually had taken a plane from Ohio. He works in he goes to, it's strange, he goes to Martin Luther King's college, and he's Asian. So I didn't understand. I don't think I'm making that up. I'm trying to see, because he's like a newer friend of mine. So because I had him, gave me his phone. It's like, oh, where can I find you so I can check the pictures out? It's like, hey, no problem. I don't know. I guess I didn't friend him, but I friended him for, I used his phone to look up me. So I was going to look. I can't remember his name either, so I feel really bad. But he came from Ohio by himself. He got a plane, and he flew in from Ohio. He said it was a 2-hour flight to, to Philly, and then he took a bus because he wasn't able to drive. Took a bus from Philadelphia out to Bethlehem. That's a hike. That's like a couple hours on the bus. So, again, dude, I'm so sorry I forgot your name. But the thing was, when I was that age, when I was like 17, 18, and 16, 17, 18, even 13 probably, I told my one friend, Todd, when I grew up, I never got to meet some of these people I was infatuated with. Like, the big thing back in the day was this Erin Gray. I used to have such a big Love Jones because she used to wear spandex on that, or disco pants on this show called Buck Rogers. And it was like, my dream was, I went through so many tissues on that woman. It's not even funny. Like, I probably could fill a landfill because it was like, she was like my dream come true was Erin Gray. And, it was like when I finally got to meet her years later, that was a funny story, but I did get to meet her much, much older, didn't look quite the same. But it was just nostalgic of meeting this person when I was a kid, I had constantly, was masturbating to when I was a kid was Erin Gray. So I never had the advantage. A couple times when I was 13 and stuff, I met actors who played Doctor Who. This girl who played Nyssa from the original Doctor Who. I met them when I was like 13 or 14. And it was like, God, this was like meeting superstars for me. But yeah, but it's not the same. I didn't fly across the country or the globe because some of these people kind of do, or just to see these people. I actually, went the furthest I ever went because that's, taking a train or have my brothers or a cousin of mine take me to these events. They were not that far from the house. They were like literally just around the, not that far. Philadelphia is like 45 minutes from my house. The Valley Forge Convention Center back in the day, and it's now Valley Forge Casino. These weren't places that were that far. So, it was not like I could do this stuff. I wouldn't even know how to. Nowadays, it's interesting these kids do this stuff. And even young adults, like in their 20s, early 20s, whatever. So, but part of it is the Asian kid, or I'm sorry, the Korean kid, he said, he had to go take a flight back because the day after this concert, he had to go back to work. It's like, dude, I give you credit for it. It's just a little weird. And he did kind of say, this is what kind of questions me and got me started on this whole thing. He says, yeah, my mother won't pay for me to go to other places to go to these events, but this one I, saved up the money. It's like, this is the part that kind of concerns me nowadays about a lot of this younger generation. I don't even think they fit in the millennial age, but they seem like millennials, that they expect their parents to pay for all this stuff. Like, literally, it's not even that a matter of, hey, I'll try to save up the money and go to this stuff, on my own. That, no, it seemed to me, and I don't mean to take it out of context, but the Korean kids, like, he almost acted like, well, my mother won't pay for everything for me. It's like, well, she really shouldn't be paying for anything for you. Minus a roof over your head and maybe if helping you go through college when you get old enough and stuff like that. That was the one side. The flip side is I was very impressed that this kid was able to do this on his own. Hey, that's more, that's very dangerous being a young kid like that and going, doing this stuff, going on to this event by yourself. I give him credit. I thought that was really cool, a little dangerous. Now, the one that kind of was really weird, and I think he kind of gave me the cold shoulder, was this other guy. I thought he was actually a parent, not realizing he had like 3 lanyards on to Sabrina Carpenter, And the guy was like from Oklahoma. And it was like, okay, so he's not a parent because he had like what I have. He had the receding hairline, or the hair just kind of dissipating, like it's pretty much starting to get to where you need to shave your head type deal. So, but he didn't look that old. I'd assume, I'm just guessing because I can't really say either way. My assumption was he probably was in his, in his 20s. He might have been a little older. I don't know, because last night it was funny. When I saw Tommy Conwell, there was this guy there, and he says, "Oh, I'm 29, I'm almost 30." He looked like he was 18, though. He definitely looked 10 years younger or more. So the bottom line is it's difficult to judge a person's age sometimes, because some of these people look much younger than they really are. But I'm playing like, try to be kind, but this guy was by himself. He had 3 lanyards around his neck, and he kind of gave me the cold shoulder after a while. Like, I think he felt like I was stepping on his territory with Sabrina Carpenter. And this was, which didn't dawn on me at first. But honestly, I felt a little bit kind of like, okay, this is why these celebrities, honestly, they got to watch themselves. They got to be scary. And they also got to have full lot of protection. I mean, this girl's 17, so she's underage. She's got another year to go until she can actually tour by herself without her parents. Her parents were all there because they're from Sabrina Carpenter's parents were from Bethlehem. And she said this is the first time I've been home for a long time that I actually, got to play around the house. So she actually was able to visit her parents, and she's playing with her sister. I don't know if her sister goes on tour with her because she is a backup singer. But this one guy, it didn't dawn on me at first, but he did kind of freak me out a little bit. You're talking a 50-year-old man getting freaked out by a guy who's 20 years younger than me. So you're probably questioning, wouldn't it be the other way around that the people should be freaked out by you? Well, I kind of add humor to me being like 30 years older than this, 33 years older than this girl, just to lighten the mood. And they kind of like that, because then Sabrina Carpenter even says, "Oh, that's all right. Hey, she thought it was really cool." So when you make light and say, "Hey, listen, I'm not a person you have to be worried about," and you kind of lighten the mood a little bit by joking about yourself, then they kind of appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, "Oh, this guy's, he's harmless. That's cool." And you try to do that. You try to make even a guest host, if you're talking to somebody, like when I talk to Tommy Conwell, you want to make that person feel like comfortable. I'm always very nervous to begin with, so it's difficult, but I try to lighten the mood a little bit. And it helps me, it helps them. So I did that with Sabrina, and even though it was like less than 30 seconds, but it did help. But this guy who with the 3 lanyards, he actually, and he seems like he's going to go to every meet and greet that she does, came from, I think he said, I want to say Ohio. Maybe it was. I can't remember now. Maybe it's better if I don't. But he came from I think it was Ohio. No, that's the other kid. But he came from I think the West Coast, and he's gone to 3 different meet and greets, and he told us, me and this other guy, this Korean kid, how he went to these 3 things. It was like, at first it was like, this is kind of cool, but so you're spending your summer tracking down this girl just to meet her for 30 seconds on every meet and greet she does. You know what that's considered? That's actually considered kind of like a stalker. So that's the part. It's like, when you hear about these people that are diehard fans or are infatuated, and it is a male person, because look what happened to that one female singer, I can't remember her name, who just got murdered. It was the same thing. This guy was I would assume he was obsessed with this entertainer, and he did a meet and greet, and he ended up killing her. And this guy kind of reminded me almost borderline like this. I mean, no offense to him, but what would you think if you go cross country just to meet up with this girl for a meet and greet? I do it, I've done it twice, 3 times, 4 times, whatever. Well, 1 time I didn't even pay for it. Twice I didn't pay for it, to see Kevin Smith. But I only do it when he's in around my area. You know, the farthest I'm going to go is New Jersey. And I do it with my own intentions, involving my own intentions, not anything with him. Trust me. And I'm trying to think. Now, Rob Zombie, I did a meet and greet once. I'm doing again one in a couple weeks in Jersey. No, in Bethlehem. I'm sorry. And I'm going to ask him if he'll do a plug, which he probably won't. I don't know. But my thing is, I'm not stalking him in the sense of, okay, Rob Zombie's going to be in England or France or in California. No, I won't go that distance. The only time I did that, because I wanted to do it, was for a Doctor Who convention in California. And why I did so was because I've never actually been out to California, and that was like to me, that's my Disneyland. Even though there is a Disney, I should phrase that, Disney World out in California. And a lot of shows I watch are from Disney World. You know, I've never been out there, and it's like, okay, this is a once lifetime deal. Now, I've been as far, thanks to my friend Matt again. He had taken me out to not Los Angeles, not Burbank. He had taken me to what do you call it? Where you gamble and stuff. You know, because he won Howard Stern contest. Las Vegas. Yeah, is that right? Las Vegas? Yeah, I believe that's right. So not Los Angeles, but Las Vegas. Let me put this in. So, yeah, Matt had taken me out to Las Vegas, and that was very nice because it was a free trip for me, literally. The only thing I paid for was nothing. So, hey, nothing's better than free, and it was free. So, you know, I appreciate it. Matt was a big help for me over the years on stuff like that. And, yeah, so I'm trying to think. So, you know, I thought I'd have more. I thought I could fill up like 2 hours just talking about Sabrina Carpenter. I couldn't even fill 5 freaking minutes. So it's going to be like a normal hour show, not even an hour and a half. It's going to be an hour. So, but so it was like a twofer for me, thanks to Matt, because he had taken me over to this bar to go see Tommy Conwell. Very nice man again. And then I actually did on my own. That was a nightmare, folks. That whole thing is messed up at that Bethlehem Music Fest, which I call Musket Fest because it has a K. I thought it was Musket. It's music. The Music Fest was pretty cool, but it was a nightmare because nobody knew what was going on. It's been going on for 10 freaking years, and they still don't have anything organized enough to tell people where to go, which... Hey, I'm sorry to say this. I was really pissed off. So I was actually ready to turn around and walk home. I walked my legs were still killing me from on Friday because I was walking in like weather that was like 101 degrees. And I like almost not twisted my ankle, but I really severely hurt my ankle. My friend Matt just texted me, so I'm going to have to read his text. So, Matt, you can hear yourself or hear me talk about you on the radio. Okay, my friend Matt just texted me. He says, you ever go to Shredwich place near Micro Center? Shredwich. So I'll type in no. So I just typed in no. So there you go, Matt. You're going to hear yourself on the radio as you had texted me at 7:50. So... it's less than an hour now, or a little over an hour, I should say, until I go see this movie. So I'll just get something probably to eat at the movie theater. It's expensive, but I'll get a hot dog or something. I don't care. I'll pay for it. It cost me like $20 for a hot dog and a soda. Literally. But yeah, that Music Fest probably could have been cool. I mean, it's a big thing. It draws crowds for the most part. But this was a complete mess trying to get to it, and I literally walked on foot on the streets of Bethlehem for over a mile because that's how big it covered. A couple of miles, this Music Fest. Here, when I got there, you know, I got the directions on my GPS, and I had parked directly where it told me to park. Well, guess what? I asked some girl, I said, hey, I'm looking for where this meet and greet is for Sabrina Carpenter. And she said, oh, you got to go to this place called the Banana Factory. The Banana Factory. So I went there, and it was like, listen, where am I supposed to go for Sabrina Carpenter? Oh, you're in the wrong direction altogether. I already had all my tickets with me. So this one girl steered me to go get tickets. Some event, some girl that was what do you call it? Helping out with this music fest, a young girl, really cute girl, but it just really pissed me off. So here, this Banana Factory place where you're supposed to pick up your tickets, which I already had, was a mile and a half from where I originally parked. And it was like, okay, how do I get to this music fest? Oh, it's just right across this bridge. It wasn't even close. So I walked it. It was a mile and a half walk in 101-degree weather with humidity being that high, sweating my balls off, very, very, very pissed off. And then afterwards, folks, I find out I had to get a shuttle back to where I had, or where the event was. The event, though, was where I originally had parked. I was like literally a stone's throw away to seeing where Sabrina Carpenter was going to be from where I parked. I mean, it was like literally a stone's throw away. No lot more, no less. It was like walking distance. So I parked a mile and a half away, took a shuttle bus just to end up where I started out. So I was not a happy camper. I was sweating so bad, so profusely, it was not even funny. I mean, I was so dehydrated, it wasn't even funny. So that obviously did not keep me in a good mood. Then I had to walk back a mile and a half to my car just because I wanted to move it closer. It was like, listen, when this is over, I want to be as close as possible. So I walked another mile and a half back to my car, got my car, and then parked closer, which was not a stone's throw away, but it was definitely right around where Sabrina Carpenter was. So the whole thing basically was, to say the least, it was a nightmare. Now, was it worth it? Well, in some ways, yes and no. Yes, because there's somebody else I kind of wanted to say, okay, just for the sake of saying I met them, I did. Looks like it's going to rain out there, by the way. It's getting dark. Not that it's getting dark because it's getting later at night. It's getting dark as far as clouds. Wow, the guy who played Jason Voorhees has done another event. Oh, wow. And actually, my woman, her name's not on here. The one that was married to John Carpenter years ago. It's like a kid's event, though. Well, maybe it was at the Harfest. God, what was her name? You can tell it's her. She's just aged a lot, obviously. God. Let me see if I can put it in. She was in the movie The Fog. I can't remember her name. If I knew she was there, I actually wouldn't mind going to see her. Oh, Adrienne Barbeau. Yeah. Looks like she might have been at... she's a great person. She's actually... she seems like she's very funny, too. Adrienne Barbeau. But, yeah, she was actually at this, I think, this Horror Fest, which I didn't know. That's weird. I'm going to wrap this up soon anyway, folks. I'm going to get something to eat. Not going to be as long as I wanted it to for as far as a show, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now. God, I got distracted again. But yeah, the event with Sabrina Carpenter was cool. Her sister was very nice. Sabrina Carpenter was like extremely pleasant to meet. Again, I just try to not, put myself into just one, conglomerating just to one thing. I'd like to actually, kind of trying to think of the right word, like see all different types of people, all types of ages, all types of backgrounds. Oh, I have to. My friend Matt just wrote, "Are you still locked out of the house?" And it's like, no, dude, I'm actually doing a podcast. So I'm gonna write, Matt. No, I am doing here. Laugh doing. Oh wait, it came up song doing a podcast right. Like, you really need to know this right now. Alrighty, so I just texted my friend Matt. So, yeah, I mean, again, I can't thank my friend Matt. I'm beating a dead horse by thanking the dude, but my friend Todd, my friend Matt have been like pretty good friends for the most part over the years of, taking me to events, enlighten me on certain facts, or, getting me turned on to certain types of movies or TV shows, whatever, different types of genres of film work, Matt, and music, and politics, political things. Oh. That's pretty wild. Some guy just put up some guy getting caught in a machine and, like, being torn through it. So anyway, that's not important, I know. I just wanted to tell everybody because I need to cut off for other reasons, too. I need to use the restroom. Yes. And for Matt, I need to take a swallow. He likes when I say that. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, you shithead. No, I'm just kidding, Matt. I'm just joking. I don't mean that. Wow. I love these people, by the way. They put a amen for these pictures of people that are, are amputees and stuff. But what they've been doing lately, this is the second one I'm looking at right now, are these really freaking hot chicks. Now, this one particular chick, she's only, got one leg. And there's some chicks, they're like might not have an arm or something like that, but they're like, I hate to tell you, I feel bad, but they are so freaking hot that who gives a shit if they're missing an arm or a leg or whatever? Because they're like, most guys aren't thinking, okay, well, hey, there's a limb missing, I'm not going to be fucking this chick. No, you're thinking the opposite. If I could get my my dick into this, I definitely would. I mean, they're that hot. I'm not even kidding. So, I don't know. I mean, no offense, most guys think. I mean, women do too. Don't deny the facts, ladies. Women also think with their dicks. Their dicks. I'm sorry, with their private parts. So don't deny the truth. Oh no, we don't. You men are all pigs. We're not. No, you are too. Trust me. Don't try to hide the fact. Boy, I really went on the stray. So anyway, folks, it's like 7:59. I'm gonna wrap this up so I can actually get out of the house and get something to eat beforehand. Hey, another one I met. I'm just seeing it now. Somebody put up a video of the Ramones. I actually did meet one of the Ramone guys. I forget where. But some of these guys are like, they are pretty much local. A lot of these entertainers that you take for granted. So it was really cool. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, I just kind of like went off. I did forget a lot of stuff I started talking about and, stopped talking about. But it might rain too. So if it gets like a thunderstorm, it could actually shut down my radio show without me even wanting to. So thanks again. This is Walter. It is about an hour and 12 minutes. That's not too bad, right? Hey, and Tommy from Tommy Conwell. Dude, if you find my show, please just, you're probably finding it on YouTube or Facebook. Just basically text me or email me, whatever you call it. So, hey, I shouldn't do this. I'm going to try to figure out how to do a live show so I can actually take phone calls. But for Tommy Conwell or anybody who's interested who wants to just give me a call, you can call me and make it legitimate. I don't have that many listeners, so I really don't care. 610-427-1259. That's my number. Or actually, walter.interante. That's INTERRANTE at Verizon.net. I don't know how to do I can't even think of anything, so I'm bad with that shit. So don't ask me, what do you mean? A is in Apple, P is in Peter. No, I don't know how to do that freaking thing, so I'm not going to even try. So, and I wanted to make one last statement. I don't know how much I'm going to hold on before I have a puddle on the floor from pissing myself. I just drank a gallon of freaking let's see, Pure Leaf iced tea, and it's going right through me right now. How am I going to sit through a Hillary film if I can't even sit for an hour? Well, anyway, my friend Matt did come up with an idea. I'm really over-oscillating him, so I apologize about this. He wants to do a documentary film on me, and he's afraid that some of the stuff that he might bring up as subject matter might be something, if it actually takes off, could be very embarrassing to me. And it's like, yes, but there's not too much, believe it or not, I get embarrassed by, believe it or not. My problem is, from my past experiences, I actually say too much. Subject matter that he thought I would get probably offended by, or, hey, if this would take off, if he actually does do a documentary on me, would be about my issues with masturbation, being in mental state hospitals in my past when I was younger. And it's like, honestly, that's the kind of stuff that I actually kind of talked a little bit too openly about. In fact, I actually did offend people over the years by mentioning things that they just really would rather me keep to myself, believe it or not. So I've actually offended more people than they offended me, so if that makes any sense. Because I've actually had people like really get pissed off at me. Some other people laugh about it. Other people think it's not funny and can you shut your mouth? That's me. So just letting you know. So that's out there for Matt, too. Thank you very much. This is Walter from iWalter, and I am signing off for now.